This week isn't just big, it's game-changing. General Hospital.
The city of Port Charles had always been a place where secrets moved faster than the wind off the harbor. Beneath its charming streets and friendly storefronts, lives tangled together in complicated ways. On this particular week, emotions ran high, bold moves were made, and relationships were pushed to the edge. At the center of it all was Portia Robinson, whose life had been filled with uncertainty lately. For days she had wrestled with a decision that would change everything. Sitting alone in her office at the hospital late one evening, the quiet hum of medical equipment was the only sound in the room. Portia stared at a patient chart but wasn't really reading it. Her mind was somewhere else entirely. "I can't keep pretending everything is fine," she whispered to herself. After weeks of doubt and sleepless nights, Portia finally made a monumental decision, one that could alter her future and shake up the lives of those around her. Whether it meant standing up for herself, protecting her family, or risking everything she'd worked for, she knew the moment had come. Meanwhile, across town, Jason Morgan was preparing to make a bold move of his own. Jason had always been a man of action. Known for his calm demeanor and unwavering loyalty, he rarely hesitated when someone he cared about was in danger. But this time, things felt different. The situation involving the mysterious Cullum had escalated faster than anyone expected. Jason stood near the waterfront, his phone in hand. The cool evening breeze ruffled his jacket as he made a call. "I'm handling it tonight," Jason said firmly. The decision he was about to make would send shockwaves through Port Charles. It was risky. It was dangerous. But Jason had never been the type to walk away from a fight. Earlier that day, he had a difficult conversation with Carly Spencer, a woman who knew him better than almost anyone. Carly stood across from him in the Metro Court office, arms crossed tightly. "You can't keep doing this, Jason," she said, frustration filling her voice. "Every time something goes wrong, you run straight toward danger." Jason didn't respond immediately. Instead, he leaned against the desk, his expression unreadable. "I'm not running toward danger," he said quietly. "I'm protecting the people I care about." Carly shook her head. "And what happens when you don't come back?" she asked. For a moment, the room fell silent. Jason understood Carly's fear, but he also knew some battles couldn't be avoided. Across town, romance was blooming despite the chaos swirling around Port Charles. After years apart, Nathan West and Lulu Spencer were finally enjoying a quiet evening together. They met at a cozy restaurant overlooking the harbor. Candlelight flickered on the table between them as soft music played in the background. Lulu smiled warmly. "It's nice to have a normal night," she said. Nathan laughed. "In Port Charles," he replied. "That might be asking too much." Still, the two savored the moment. Their conversation drifted from memories to hopes for the future. For a little while, the complications of life in Port Charles seemed far away. But Nathan had a warning weighing on his mind, one he knew he would eventually have to share with Dante Falconeri. Elsewhere, sparks were flying between Brooklyn Quartermain and Harrison Chase. The couple had been through countless ups and downs, but tonight felt different. Sitting together in the Quartermain mansion's living room, laughter filled the air. Brooklyn leaned closer to Chase. "Do you ever think about what our life will look like in a few years?" she asked. Chase smiled. "Honestly," he replied, "as long as you're in it, I'm good." Brooklyn's expression softened. For once, the drama of the Quartermain family didn't seem to matter. But not every conversation in Port Charles was filled with romance. At the courthouse, Molly Lansing Davis sat across from Cody Bell, waiting for him to finish speaking. Cody sighed heavily. "I'm not backing down," he said. Molly studied him carefully. "Are you sure about that?" she asked. Cody nodded. "Absolutely. I've made my decision." Where he stood on the matter could create serious consequences, but Cody wasn't willing to change course. At the hospital, Elizabeth Weber found herself under intense pressure. The situation involving Ric Lansing had grown more complicated by the day. As the two discussed their future, tension filled the room. Ric looked at her thoughtfully. "We need to decide where this is going," he said. Elizabeth hesitated. The past between them was filled with pain and unfinished business. "Maybe the real question," she replied quietly, "is whether we're ready for whatever comes next." Meanwhile, danger was brewing elsewhere. Marco was preparing to take a major risk, one that could either change his life or destroy it completely. Standing alone in a dimly lit alley, he checked his watch nervously. "This better work," he muttered. Not far away, Ava Jerome was delivering a warning to Lucas Jones. "You're playing a dangerous game," Ava said sharply. Lucas frowned. "I can handle myself," he insisted. Ava's eyes narrowed. "That's what everyone says right before things go wrong." At the same time, old rivalries were flaring up once again. In the middle of the Metro court lobby, Alexis Davis and Tracy Quartermain were locked in a heated argument. "You're twisting the facts," Alexis snapped. Tracy scoffed. "Oh, please. I'm the only one telling the truth." Guests nearby pretended not to stare as the confrontation grew louder. Meanwhile, Sonny Corinthos was receiving a serious warning from Carly. "You need to be careful," Carly told him. "Things are getting out of control." Sonny's expression darkened. "When have things ever been under control in this town?" he replied. But even Sonny couldn't ignore the growing threat surrounding Cullum. Behind the scenes, Jack Brennan was actively going after Cullum, determined to bring him down once and for all. Unfortunately, Brennan's aggressive tactics were starting to attract attention. Soon enough, someone called him out. "You've crossed the line," the voice said. Brennan turned slowly. "You think so," he replied coldly. Back at the hospital, Britt Westbourne was visibly shaken after receiving unexpected news. Her hands trembled as she tried to process what she had just learned. "This can't be happening," she whispered. The revelation threatened to change everything she believed about the situation unfolding around her. Meanwhile, Michael Corinthos found himself going on the defensive as accusations began flying. He stood in the Quartermain living room, clearly frustrated. "I didn't do anything wrong," Michael insisted. But the tension in the room suggested not everyone believed him. Across town, Alexis was demanding answers from someone who clearly didn't want to give them. "You're hiding something," she said firmly. The person across from her remained silent. Alexis leaned forward. "And I'm not leaving until you tell me the truth." As night fell over Port Charles, the entire city seemed to hold its breath. Jason's bold move was already in motion. Portia's life-changing decision was about to ripple through the community. Romances were growing stronger, but secrets were growing darker. And somewhere in the shadows, powerful enemies were preparing their next move. In Port Charles, nothing ever stayed quiet for long. The coming days would bring confrontation, heartbreak, and shocking revelations. Because in the world of General Hospital, every decision has consequences, and every secret eventually comes to light.